Okay. And we're on.
All right, welcome back. This is Rogue. I'm joined here by Mike Lowry. We're here to bring you some more Team Fortress 2. So here we are looking at basically the sort of like winners finals, more or less, where we have the two top-seeded teams facing off for the first time after being set in the two separate groups. So, Mike, how you feeling? What are you thinking?
I'm excited to peek in on some more of the TF2 action here, getting the cream of the crop here as really separating the strongest contenders here. And we have, just from watching some of the play yesterday, just all across the board, fantastic plays and fantastic players. But I'm excited to see here we have all my fellas facing off against Ford Gaming here in the semifinal here.
That's right, and we've seen a lot of All My Fellas so far where they put on such dominant performances. Where we saw them earlier this afternoon against, let's see, that would be Era Black. And I remember, Era Black has a lot of other invite players on it, some seasoned veterans, but after having like a super close neck-and-neck 0-0 score halfway through map 1, suddenly All My Fellas just started running away with it, where, that kind of like expertise basically being at the like tip-top level, you don't just have to beat the team once, you have to beat all of their adjustments and responses to your gameplay over time. So it's really exciting now that there's sort of two teams that are both in that echelon, more or less, facing off against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there was, from memory, All My Fellas definitely had brought the aggression early on, and looking at their placement here on the bracket, they certainly did not let up off the gas here, as they have yet to drop a point here in the elimination stage.
And they're starting off on Snakewater, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Just because, if a tree falls in a forest and no one's around to hear, if production tells me what the map is and I don't remember, then did they tell me?
It's probably that.
Yeah. I think it's Snakewater. But either way, this is a map that we've seen a lot actually out of All My Fellas, and a lot of these teams, it's a map that people feel really confident and comfortable on. All the classes kind of get their own way to shine. No one particularly stands out. So, yeah, we'll have to see basically what sort of capabilities they're bringing to this map. And I'm excited especially because Ford Gaming hasn't hopped on the air yet. Like, we haven't gotten a chance to cast them, but they're looking really sharp. I mean, I was looking at some of their players, and people go by different aliases. It's tough to keep track sometimes, but like they have Sai on demo, which is someone who is phenomenal, like crazy DM and things like that. And yeah, the rest of their team has just been going nuts, especially Yosh on the Babyface Blaster, which like is like, yeah, weird scattergun. Like you could build up basically like a speed boost, and then you start going. As the fastest class, you go even faster. So it's like watching over his shoulder, I was getting all kinds of dizzy, but I hope he brings it into the match here too.
Yeah, hopefully none of our viewers get any motion sickness watching that gameplay here. Yeah, it'll be great to see Ford Gaming's competitors. I haven't myself had a chance to see much of their gameplay yet, but this is probably going to be definitely a good popcorn munching kind of match between these two teams here. And I'm really excited to showcase that here with you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I really can't wait. I know we had, I guess, around 11 in the server, I think, when we went live, so it should be just a matter of time. And it's still, having that, like, LAN vibes, it's so exciting to have the basically over-the-shoulder view where I'm, like, watching these players make their individual plays, all their calls and everything like that. And then it's like, oh, yeah, time to walk back to the production booth, start casting, and, put them on the stage. So we're actually doing a quick map change. It'll be Sunshine for the first map, which was my favorite, so I'm excited for that one. The lighthouses look gorgeous and all the bell towers climbing that high ground. So, yeah, I think that now that that's squared away, we should be getting into this match any minute.
On a bit of a personal note, as we were watching some of those competitors there, you were mentioning right before we hop on the broadcast, is it tough to pull yourself away from hearing all the calls and seeing the action going, all right, next map, let me just jump in and, oh, wait, I got to go jump over this way. Is that a tough urge to fight?
Oh, yeah, it really is. Like, even now, at first, because I'm here, obviously, for business, right? Really excited to have this opportunity and share the cast with you all. But at the same time, it's like, oh, but, if we have a 5-minute break, I could just watch over, some of these phenomenal players. Like, I was watching Bear on Medic, and then, eyeing, like, Yosh with that wacky weapon and stuff like that. And everyone, like, almost the peanut gallery behind, like, talking with Habib and all these other career veterans, like, hey, what if you ran, like, the force in nature to knock him back so we can't build up the charge and stuff? And it's like, oh, so it's all kinds of fun, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a great way to rub shoulders with some of the greats and just come up with some great strategies and some bonkers strategies as well. But hey, if it's a winning strategy, then it's not a bad one.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, while we have the second as well, I'll continue to shout out our charities here for RGB 6. So the RGB to the 3 colors in the color channels represents a different charity that we're working towards fundraising for here as we play all these games. So first is, let me just pull up my list here. So of course, first would be Julia's Grace, there we go, where they work to support children with cancer and support that lifestyle, right, where aside, like, helping them find happiness with, all of this heartbreak that they're going through. Second is Help Hope Live, which works to fund basically all of these bank-breaking medical bills that are so difficult to pay for with, different types of healthcare. Finally, there's the Philly Tech Sisters, who are working on opportunities for women of color in tech and sponsoring different coding workshops around Philly. And that's I guess a deeper point on that. I actually spoke to the Help Hope Live, has like a booth here, and it's wild to me learning that, even if people do like a GoFundMe, whatever, and fundraise yourself for like your sick person's medical bills, whatever, if you raise enough, then that counts to the government as income, and then that takes away all of your like disabilities benefits and things like that. Man. So it's like, even if you try and find a way into paying for your medical bills that are too much, you still can't. So they're doing a lot of great work with kind of like basically the structure they have to help you get funds while not like being punished by the government for it. Huh?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking that the concept of medical bankruptcy has to exist in this day and age, and it's incredible that Help Hope Live is closing the gap on making that just a thing of the past. Hopefully soon here we can be wrapped up with that, and as mentioned, the other organizations are doing absolutely incredible work between Philly Tech Sisters, working to bring inclusivity and equity to women in color in the tech industry, and Julia's Grace, as Rogue had noted here, on the hard work that they do, bringing normal, wholesome family moments to those who have a whole lot of stress on their plate dealing with childhood cancer. So it's wonderful to be a part of all of these charities, and it's incredible to be able to support them, and incredible to share this venue with just some of the most colorful characters that you could possibly share a room with for a weekend here. There's quite a few interesting people here that come down for RGB LAN. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big thanks to everyone watching, helping support. And please check out the RGB website or each of these charities directly, whatever helps. Yeah, and I'm excited, to basically be bringing more of the TF2 and keep playing these video games, fighting for the good causes. And, really grateful to all the players, too. It's amazing still, like, Team Fortress 2 came out in 2007. Here we are 17 years later,
It survived all the TF2 killers.
The game's almost old enough to vote. And we're finding ourselves here with still people flying out from all over. I mean, we have some newer players where I'm talking with people who've been playing for a year or two and saying, hey, I'm really excited about the competitive scene, and flew all the way out here, versus people like,
wow.
I remember when I started in 2013, there was an old veteran that we used to ring, and he's here. So he's coming up on, that.
He's 11 years.
Yeah.
Or however long, my goodness. Second decade of playing. Yeah, I had a chance to talk with some of these people. They've been playing 7, 8, 9, 10, so many years, just staying with this game that has provided them what, as I had mentioned yesterday, just the family that they want to have with this community. I can see why people stay here and stick with this community. It's probably one of the tightest gaming communities I think I've ever seen, and it's just something to behold, for lack of any better explanation here. And those that haven't been here in person to an RGB LAN to experience that, or to experience any of the other midnight madness or just general craziness that's going on, please, you gotta come down here. It's something that you just have to see in person. It's incredible. If you go to our website, rgblan.com, we should have some news coming up here in the near future on when tickets will be available. rgblan.org, pardon me for that typo. We'll have information in the near future, ideally for when our next event will take place. And please, come on down. Hang out with us. You got this guy here. That's all you need. Don't worry about me. Just come on down, have a blast. It's something you got to see.
You can even have a sand blast. Speaking of which, see you in the server. I think we're going live here. All right, we have Sandblast & Co. versus Ford Gaming. Here we go on our first mid here on Sunshine. bringing a lot of action here. The top 2 seeds facing off in what very well may be the grand finals matchup, starting off here facing each other in the winners finals. So right now the picks are definitely going in favor of All My Fellas. There's now 3 down on the side of 4 down on the side of Ford Gaming. And yeah, great shots from Sandblast to clean up those injured players. You know, you let the explosives deal all the damage and then scouts clean up. So yeah, real quick transition across the second, but both meds die, so even Ubers.
Psy Guy just walks on back, heading back to last to regroup with his team there, all coming back in together with an engineer to help out on last point as the fellas take second here, moving forward, blasting through the skies. And we are going to regroup here and see how these guys attack the last point.
We have here, yeah, a little bit of like a setup where the soldiers are sort of standing on this platform here where you have to look up and backwards at that soldier who's just trying to rain down. Both demos trapping up this smaller doorway and Scout spotting the longer doorway on the far side basically of this point. So kind of ready for anything, whichever door they want to come through. We're missing the Uber percents on the scoreboard, not sure quite where that went, but either way we'll basically keep track where these Ubers are now. I want to say 85% both meds, so basically getting ready to trade as demos are trading spam out here.
Yeah, each team peeking out, trying to see if anybody overcommits just enough here. Psy Guy pushing forward, gets 2 kills to push the fellas back as now Ford Gaming pushes forward.
Here we have oh, what a fun spot from Sandblast up there. A scout wall bug is a sight to see. We also have, yeah, quick refresh. There we go. Thank you very much to the production team. Ubers are back in action here on our HUD. We have now some more pressure coming out as actually Blue had tried using their Uber, got forced there on second. And now the red team with full lat is working through Valley.
Quacks on the high ground here, getting some good sight lines on the fellas marching forward.
Oh, poor Trip got like just juggled back and couldn't make it out the door. Yep, so here's Della. So excited to see Yosh, which is Fruit at Night at LAN there on Ford Gaming. Might be running that back together, might not. We'll find out when it matters most. But right now, pretty casual point capture where, again, they had this ad, but they didn't have to use it. They're just now trying to push with that little bit. Yeah, they're trying to push just a little bit before they get the Uber on the other side, but no, 2 spammed out on the store, not able to make it through.
So on second, fellas holding it down tightly as Psy Guy gets a kill on Quacks. Can they follow up with a second one? Getting that focus fire on the medic, but can't quite finish that off just yet. Fellas peeling back as the second one falls here. So Ford Gaming with man advantage going into this point.
Still leaving Ubers here, but yeah, it's tough. There's a slight numbers advantage here for Ford, where they want to be able to take this in a little bit further, but instead they're kind of stuck here, just poking and prodding. Actually, wow, they're kind of posturing themselves a little bit aggressively here, where if there was a sniper or something like that, maybe a sticky trap, then that soldier's a goner, but not for now. Still full up on these Ubers. The off classes are a heavy from bot mode and an engineer from Sandblast. So that's going to make it a little bit sticky, difficult to capture this last. You know, there's interesting kind of calls where sometimes you'll try and peek to kill the gun before you use, other times you'll use the Uber into the gun to try and take it out. So there's a lot of ways through. Depends on the gun positioning, but I personally really like peeking beforehand. But then see, that's the problem, right? If you peek the gun, surprise, you get dealt with the sticky trap. So Trip and Yosh go down.
Yeah, great defense, defensive move there by fellas. So now they're able to push forward with the 2-man advantage, taking second back. Ford Gaming hanging back, regrouping, letting that point fall, and the ping pong back and forth continues.
And enjoying the little bit of a view here, the nice seaside vista here on Sunshine. A bunch of players working their way through flank here, kind of seeing, hey, if anyone's asleep at the wheel, basically we'll have an opportunity to feed our way through one of these doorways. We have basically even Ubers here, 3.5 minutes before a point has to be captured, and both of these teams waiting for an opening.
Flying forward, there is Delazera, but Habib says sit down as he gets 2 kills there. A lot of frags trading here, but fellas is going to have the advantage going into that, so they're able to swing in and take mid.
I did catch with that like breakneck pace that Yosh is in fact on that backscatter where, yeah, getting that speed boost. Or the babyface blaster, I always mix them up. But either way, the one that gives you that speed boost for shooting people in the back is probably the backscatter. And now with this full Uber advantage for Culture, we're going to be looking to take the super farther in. And yeah, look at this, waiting on the spawn camp.
He's holding on for it, but it's just going to be him hanging out.
Normally, so if there's like a sniper or something in there, you like wait for the door to open, but by standing in it, that blocks the sniper from hitting anyone else. I haven't actually seen that before. Blue had their Uber for 117 seconds before using it. So great work from Fellas to basically be managing this Uber, bringing it forward.
Yeah, 3 full minutes just waiting, well, almost 3 full minutes just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. But 4Gaming swings back, getting a man advantage here.
I feel like we've seen this a few times now on our Sunshine matches up today. Wait a second, someone slid through a little bit. Ooh. That was, oh, there we go. They end up going down. It was Sandblast. Not quite for a full back cap, but kind of taking the one-on-one. But yeah, I feel like we've seen a few times on Sunshine here where a team will use in on that like higher area of last and then sort of sit on that high ground, not really closing any distance or closing the gaps, and instead they just get spammed out and die in the post. Oh, I can like feel, you know, Blue, like you want to spam out this other team, and especially the sniper in the long range angle is really helpful, but you want to spam them out enough that the medic uses, but not so much so that your own medic dies to their Uber. So let's see, Culture actually working forward as, yeah, really just having that sniper was so stressful for it to push into that they opt to just not.
Yeah, just getting in the mind games there on his end, just keeping them spaced out, knowing that if they're trying to fly through the skies, they have to deal with Bomo's anti-air. So he's able to keep them held back here as both teams regroup a little bit, and the push might just start coming in here from 4Gaming.
Yeah, sniping 101 here. If you know you hit a shot from a certain area, then the person's going to say, "Hey, Sniper's Cafe." Then the last place you want to be is Cafe. So Bomo taking the shot, rotate, go for another one.
Both teams up on their Ubers here, so we'll probably start having a fresh team fight here as 4Gaming starting to push in right now.
I like how they're playing around their sniper, actually. Sometimes you send your sniper to like go into an angle and take a lucky shot, but here they're like, no, our sniper's going to have a buff. They're going to have people to shoot whoever's spamming and stuff like that, to basically, like, you know, protect Mr. President and stuff like that, have the entourage surrounding sniper to make sure they get off a solid shot. I even got scared for a second watching that soldier fly through choke. It's like, oh, yeah. Wait, everyone look out. He's jumping back to his own team.
4Gaming with a 2-man advantage, but won't push just yet. Bomo getting a nice shot there on Cruz.
Oh, it tripped down to 7 HP. Just trying to survive down there, but the Uber's coming out, and it's like, that's one of my favorites as medic. Someone calls our soldier, and I call no, because something's going on, right? We have an Uber to use. But flashing trip at the end. Wow. Getting caught out there, Dilla's era at the last second here, which I think is KB Quad. But yeah, we're working our way back onto. All right, I'm getting confirmation. So, yep, we have these teams now pressuring second, getting the cap down. It's slight Uber ad. Let's see if they use it fast enough for it to matter. Oh.
Oh, gets a jab in on the medic, but just gets him scared, lets him fight another day for that one.
Great coordination out these soldiers too, where both of them jump towards the same door at the same time to kind of contest and spam. But like even for me, it's like, oh, which one do you shoot at? You know, you can't focus fire if you can't differentiate.
Uber's coming in here for Fellas. They're able to get one, pushing in on point, starting to cap. Halfway done on last, but 4Gaming pushes back harder. Sandblast and Agent Cortez just trying to get a few more picks here, but it might not work just yet here. Bomo getting a nice melee kill.
XD in chat as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yup. the melee down. Yeah, that's what reloading will do to you. Always keep one in the chamber. So full Uber ad here for... I know, that's a Bear. Whoa! Oh, instantly wow. 2-shot by Sandblast. Oh, yeah, that's the Sandblast special. Every shot does 80 damage, I swear. do so much cleanup here that, whoa, Quack's down to, what is that? Oh, I missed it, like 7 HP around. So, yeah, trading back and forth. And right now, Yosh, Fruit at Night at LAN, only one left. And now full team wipe, working our way into last for a very casual, slow cap.
And that'll be that for the first map point. All my fellas taking the first one in a back and forth match that they do end up taking that first point as we are down to 20 minutes left in our semifinal match 1.
Now, let's see. It feels like Ford had kind of the right openings, but in like the point transitions, it feels like the fellas keep like, you know, when they're supposed to get 1 point, they get 2. And that's sort of the difference maker here where, you know, have that happen enough times and that'll be a round win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Taking out this high ground, sort of again wrapping behind where, yeah, you can even see Habib and some of the soldiers. Wait, a huge bomb. Culture goes down. So now both soldiers blasting the meds apart. Bombo chasing does get the frag onto Bear. Jeez, yeah, I'm not brave enough to try and pronounce that on air.
There's the Sandblast special again on Telereza.
Oh, Sai as well. This is actually kind of dubious, I think, to opt to stay here because anyone could chase you out. But actually, I think I see one or two of Sai's teammates still in the fight. Yes, that's right. Trip manages to grab Sandblast, and yes, Sai's locked in here behind sort of demo on demo action. Both of them just spamming at each other, not doing too much. But okay, even numbers basically for each team, so we're going to have a little bit of a mid-fight reset here. Actually, no, we're not. The fellas opt to just back up and concede mid. Oh, sorry, I see a crit Skreeg on the side of all my fellas. So, yep, we're working here with Logai and Habib. Habib lining it up. You know, it's like a golfer. You gotta really like feel the racket, or not the racket, geez, the club. Feel the ball and go for it. But you know, even best laid plans don't work out all the time. Happen to miss the shot, that's okay, but you still force them back, right? They just kind of left mid for free. But wait a second, a massive bomb from, yeah, Jean-Paul Jacques. Not sure which one that is. Working our way now into the low ground. Geez, exchanging back and forth. They're just getting turned alive. Yeah, that massive bomb from the soldier here on forward opened this completely wide open. I had no idea where they came from. That scared the hell out of me.
Wow, yeah, really. And now on second, Ford Gaming pushes forward with the swing on all my fellas taken out. But, oh, now they're starting to cap theirs and put in an aggressive push on last ahead of time as fellas starts to come out of spawn. Is it going to be enough here? Very closely contested on the last point. Habib trying to stand as tall as he possibly can, but Ford Gaming almost at the end there. Agent Cortez doing all that he can to hold off that last point. Now Bomo's trying, but it won't be enough. And Ford Gaming ties it up at 1.
Yeah, what a game on our hands, right? Thanks for joining us, everybody. We got, after watching basically a whole weekend almost of all my fellas just kind of making a meal out of everyone ahead of them, we now have a tied game. I'll contend real quick how cool it is to have Habib in overtime there, like defending last, because normally demos are really tactical, like playing the point, but Habib is so fast and in your face that he jumps straight onto the point and will just DM you anyway at point blank range. So unlike normal demo man play, but that's what makes Habib so special.
Sandblast gets a fast 2 to open up on mid. And the trades come forward here with fellas taking the man advantage. And they are getting the cap there on mid as Scouts trying to hold on just a little bit longer, but isn't able to finish it off here.
Wait, as Sandblast was taunting, Sai bombed in, trying to take him down and still doesn't.
And hits him with a 1 HP and some esports in the chat. You love to see it.
Yeehaw. All right. Yeah, everyone's having fun with it. These are like old rivals too, so it's not like you're trying to like win the tournament. It's like, no, I'm here to beat Sandblast. It's all kinds of fun out here. Setting up a bunch of stickies here on that area where they tend to Uber in from and play in the post. Yeah, see, this is like that tactical demo man style. Zoning off the point, zoning off where you think the Uber's going to come from, and then spamming a doorway that, you know, might have somebody peeking out of it.
Yeah, you have that risk of opening up second for a fast push, but that gives you that extra little time that you need. But that time might not have been enough as fellas beginning to cap but looking for more trades before they push in here. Heavy knocking back Quacks here. Gets 2, gets 3, 4, but it doesn't matter. Fellas ends up taking last.
Wait, that's another medic cap from
Wow.
Culture. Yeah, Law Guy going nuts out here. We saw that earlier this morning where, you know, it's like, oh, they lost the push because it's a 2v5 or something, but then just stands on the point, caps it. No problem. No questions asked.
Point's a point, no matter how you get it. All looks the same on the scoreboard. And that weapon, too. My goodness.
Sandblast holding his mouse like a fidget spinner. Oh, very excited for the Psy Guy cam here. Yeah, putting out a lot of damage on this mid. It's so funny to me watching the demo just kind of go somewhere and stay there on mid because scouts are so fast, soldiers bombing, meds have to dodge everything. Whoa, so much damage. And Quacks does go down to it. So Jacques winning the fight on Bell Tower. So 1 in favor of All My Fellas. And the health is so bad. Yeah, Psy Guy goes down on this side of forward. So yeah, deceptively comfortable mid for All My Fellas here. It really rolls off the tongue here.
Wow.
Habib with the pre-fire. Insane.
500 IQ play by Habib there to keep that team back. Mid will go to the way of All My Fellas here. Ford Gaming works our way back to last. Regroup, getting ready. And second is starting to get contested now by All My Fellas, but already on site here. Popping Ubers, All My Fellas, Sandblast getting Psy Guy there.
Hey, look at how this team rallies back, right? They got capped on once and they're like, enough's enough. And then one quick round win. Another, they're pushing into last, getting pick after pick. Yeah, look at this. Barely able to, ooh, actually I take it back. Scouts are trading back and forth, but okay. Pop mode just kind of standing comfortably on the point.
Fellas says the gloves are off. We're here to play now.
Yep. Yeah, Fellas with a massive adaptation here. Rolling 2 quick ones out. You know, the gap between 3 to 1 is so big, especially with the round only having, what, 13 minutes left in the round timer.
Yeah, Ford Gaming, if they want to be able to really pull off a tie or lead it, bring it ahead here, there has to be a lot of quick aggression and a lot of made picks. That, unfortunately, won't be one of them as Bombo gets first frag on Trip there to start off this point.
Yeah, it's a great idea to go and salvage, try and go for the play, but nope. Backing our medic all the way out, trying to get make sure we keep that Uber alive for last at least. But this is such a tough back foot where it's like, yeah, let's back up to last and either somehow push all the way like coast to coast back across, or you know, we'll be down 4-1 basically and have only 10 minutes basically to come all the way back. But look at this from Yos going on the Huntsman. This thing has a massive hitbox, so and it like fully charges so quickly. So hitting those like full charge body shots, you just rattle them off.
Yeah, at this point, Fellas can just play the time game, push out nice and slow, try to knock off any additional time here, getting a quick trade, and they can just work with this advantage that they have on the scoreboard.
Oh, wait. Going for a quick pick with the... Oh, what a surf! Okay, yeah, there's no way. Surely there's no way. Oh, that's so funny. And Jack going... So what you can do as, you know, a stalemate like this, if you go spy and disguise as the other people, you can see what off classes they do and don't have. Where, like, if I'm a spy and disguised as an enemy spy and it looks like it's just all default everything, then you know nobody's on it, right? Or if it's like, oh, I got the medic's name and I'm showing a spy class, that means they just don't have one. So checking the off classes before going for one of these plays. Oh, but got bumped by Sandblast, yep.
Sandblast gives him a nice little laugh and says, hey, nice try there, friend, but won't work this time around. Fellas pushing in on the point now that they have the man advantage.
Wow. Yeah, Yoshi coming back up on the sniper with a Huntsman. What a funny icon that is on the HUD as well. I like that very much. Oh,
close.
Takes him so low. Sniper versus sniper, but with a Huntsman. That's something I haven't seen since a public server back in my youth.
Trip says, no sniper fighting, you're out of here. Boma has to walk that one off here.
Still leaving Ubers here. There's about 2 minutes until the round timer will like send us back to mid. Whoa. Sandblast, good thing he had a buff because, yeah, it gets brought down to about 30, 40 HP. Still full Ubers for both teams. That gun's getting built back up, it sounds like. Actually, I might be wrong looking at our HUD here. with some kind of smacking going on metal. Either way,
Might just be doing some spy checking.
there you go. Yeah, a lot of action happening sort of outside here, right? So the defense is kind of saying like, hey, you know, you're down enough people for us to try and make a even bigger opening. You know, so more or less if they get one more pick here, they can really take the point. But now, yep, they're pretty squarely set out. And I think that was a body shot maybe from Yoshan to the medic. But hey, forced the Uber way out of position, and now that's full ad for Bear on the side of forward as medic.
So while that play didn't get a frag, that can bring a bit of an advantage for them, as now they can be able to swing forward with their Uber here. But it looks like Fellas is going to have the man advantage holding down on second. Uber comes out for Ford Gaming, so that's going to be a tough one to work with here, as neither team now has Uber. Slight ad on All My Fellas as they are pushing forward, taking last point. 4-1 now from All My Fellas over Ford Gaming here in the first match.
Sambla's having fun with this one, huh? Even
yeah, he's having a great time here today.
Yeah, so it's 4-1 now, and this is really tough to kind of come back to, right? It's not impossible, you know, getting 3 rounds in 8 minutes isn't the toughest thing in the world, but we're going to have to see basically what, how fast they're willing to play, right? Because you can't play slow, you can't play default, your back's against the wall here when you're down this many points.
Yeah, at this point, you have to go pedal to the metal at this point, just non-stop going forward here, trying to make something work, trying to find any crack that you can at this point.
Yeah, starting off not too bad. They pressured back All My Fellas, but wow, great rockets synchronized here. It's not going to be, it is enough basically to shove back Ford. So Ford's now, like, again, playing on the back foot, backed all the way up to their second point. But they keep Uber, you know, the spawners are coming up. And even now they're like, hey, what if we just kind of pressure, peek, push, you know, see what we can get in. Sandblast continues to stay so low, and the Uber even comes out. Wait, oh, and the Uber back from Culture just barely comes in time. Yeah, see Habib at the close range, like it feels like it's natural, you know.
Oh, great aerial demo shot there by Habib to knock out the Soldier.
Yeah, even the Soldier saying just GG in chat. Working our way now through, it's a 5v2, and so hey, it's great that Ford is staying aggressive, trying to find a way back in the game, but you know, it doesn't always work out. So they end up getting pushed all the way back, where now they'll have to more or less defend last, but this is a very tall order. Even if they defend it for 5 minutes, that's also a guaranteed loss. So guaranteed loss. So they have to find a way out of last, and they have to find that now.
Fellas is going to also have Uber ad going into this final point, but they'll have a man disadvantage here as Ford pushing forward. Trades coming through now for the way of All My Fellas, even now 4 apiece. So they might be able to push forward here. Knocking out that sentry, pushing back Ford Gaming, and this might just be about it.
Ooh, 6 shots from bot mode too. Bot mode's really fun to watch as well on Scout. Like, yeah, just like his positioning, the calmness of the aim and stuff like that. It's gorgeous to watch us all these shots hit for so much damage. But hey, there we go. So round 1 is 5-1 for, or sorry, map number 1 is a 5-1 in rounds for All My Fellas versus Ford Gaming.
Man, what a first match. It's good to see in a way that there is a solution against All My Fellas. Now the problem is being able to do that enough times in a single match. That if Ford Gaming can really really hunker down and find out how to hit those cracks and how to hit those weaknesses the hardest here, I think going into the second match it'll be even closer here. But All My Fellas is just cruising at this point. It is tough to see what exactly is going to make them falter at this point.
It almost feels like they get unlocked at a certain point, right? Sorry, just locked eyes with Sandblast. Anyway, we're yeah, it's funny seeing how like they sort of like warm up into the game in a way, right? Where they you know, at the beginning of the game it's close, or like we saw, I forget if it was earlier yesterday, again, like that 15 minutes of 0 people capping, right? But then they're just like, aha, and then unlock it, and then suddenly it's like, we got finally a round after 10 minutes, and then round 2, 3, 4, and then 5 so quickly in succession. So I think we mentioned where that comes from the veteran savvy, but yeah, do you think there's anything more going into like how they're able to accelerate these round wins?
I think the biggest thing is what I had seen successfully was those soldier pushes and getting the rockets raining down. If they can hit those shots just right and time it with their scout play as well, if they can synchronize at the perfect moment, then that's huge. Some of the really great work earlier was, I wish I could remember the specific player, but there was a sniper who drew out an early Uber in a really weak position for the medic. If you're able to capitalize on that, that's tremendous. Sniper's getting the first step done. It's getting the follow-up that'll really set that team forward here. So if they can build upon that, then Ford Gaming can really, really get some success here.
Well said. Yeah, that's a great point where it'll depend a lot, too, on what our next map looks like, right? So if it's some area where those soldiers can really shine, we'll hope to see them bring that sort of impact to the server. And yep, we just got confirmation that it's Metalworks, which yeah can be really fun for soldiers. You know, there's those like big long bombs like over the mids have such high walls and things like that. You can start bouncing all around like feels like a bounce castle sometimes. And the same for the second point as well with the alley going all the way there. So yeah, excited to see what they can show us.
That'll be a great one to see here. I think we're still getting players ready here. So what? I know you expand a little bit on this map. What Soldier obviously is going to be a pretty solid keystone for this map. Is there any kind of like additional class that you would say would be like really important to be alongside them for this map specifically compared to some of the other maps that we've seen here? Like would you say that Sniper would be every now and again? Of course it's not going to be like insta-lock, but them or any other class, like what would be a perfect complement for them on this map?
Yeah, I'd say the class to watch outside that is definitely the demos. So there's a lot going on in this map where at mid, right, the demos are the first people to show up, and when they're sort of like picking basically which doors and which types of high ground to lock out, you know, like we saw Habib saying like, hey, I'm going to shoot stickies on this random wall because probably a soldier will jump towards it eventually, right? Is that like almost meta type play where, you know, maybe putting stickies on the high ground to prevent soldier bombs, maybe putting it in a doorway to hurt people before they even contribute. And even as we transition from point to point, because Metalworks is such a fun combination of like massive open like skybox at mid and then tiny little rooms and lobbies and stuff like that. So, you know, you have to go through so many doors and check every one of them for sticky bomb traps and go through shutters, everything like that. So, yeah, Habib and Sai are both probably very comfortable on this map.
Absolutely. That'll be great to see. Great ways that they can slow down the action, or if they time it just right, really just put the pedal to the metal and cruise through some of these points here. So that'll be great to see what these teams bring to this second match here. We should be peeking on them here quite shortly. I think they're just about ready here. I think we're still getting a little bit ready, but we'll have that action for you here real soon.
It's funny when, you know, some players are like, you know, people have their own different styles and also different personalities and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning, right? So sometimes you tell people, like, you know, if someone's messing around or not taking it seriously enough, you're like, hey, you got to get back in shape. We got to focus. We got to go for this win. We got to do what it takes to win. And the person's like, all right, yeah, you're right. Other times, that's a completely losing argument where it's like, hey, man, like for Yosh, for example, who was running the wacky weapons, like Scout with that weird weapon, and then Sniper with the Huntsman, like the bow and arrow and everything. It's like, hey, Yosh, like, if you number one using Huntsman, number two die, and then have a respawn, like choosing to come back as anything, you come back as that again. But it's like, he's not going to listen. Even if you tell him stop, he won't stop. So it's like, why even tell him stop? Just at the same time, though, he feels comfortable, right?
Yeah, it can be tough if your back's against the wall and you have your head down and you're like, okay, I'm going to make this work. I don't care how I make it work. I'm just going to figure out a way, even though you might just get rolled after that. The biggest thing certainly is just not getting stuck in your own head and being able to listen to your team. And if you're on the other side of that, being able to communicate effectively and make sure that you're not like, you know, jumping down someone's collar over their picks and their weapons that they're using, because you can end up creating that person who just shuts down and says, no way. But we are peeking in here on our second map here. Match just starting off.
On our way to mid here, watching these demos, Yeah, this is a fun rollout too, getting to choose where they're going, upper or lower. And yeah, you can see here spamming out this lower door, so everyone who's, yeah, like the soldiers have to shoot it out the way. Now they're down a rocket, stuff like that. So Sai spamming out the players on the low ground. And actually, there's so much high ground still for Ford. All my fellows finally able to branch out and start taking some ground for themselves. Health more or less even on both sides, except Trip being down sort of spells disaster, where if you're down one player for this long, yep, you want to start backing up, which Quax is actually wrapping behind and takes a massive rocket on the bear. Wow. Yeah, you would almost think like, there's a great quote from you know, my old teammate K9 that's, you do the same damage whether on max HP or 1 HP. So yeah, you think, hey, surely there's not going to be a rocket jump when they're on 80, but nope, get the med anyway.
Great swing play on his part there. That was really good. Fellas is going to start marching forward on second here, and Ford Gaming is going to stand tall on last. Let's see if they can start pushing back after this point. With a pyro pick here on defense.
Yeah, got to blast them back by any means necessary. Sort of fall on the sword, jump on the grenade for your teammates. Playing really close to these doorways as well, ready to meet them if they come into this one in particular. And whoa, soldiers colliding in air. Habib kind of corralling them into spawn here, but not too much damage coming out. Only one player pick so far. The gun goes down, but this is a pretty comfortable defense, believe it or not. Even Fruit at night at LAN working forward as the engineer lane that's suppressing fire. Only 3 up here. Wait, bot mode. Oh, okay. We're getting a couple shots out onto the medic. And now, oh, Habib's getting run down. And I think even Lol Guy here should have kill-binded a while ago. Yeah,
oh, man.
It's tough as medic. Like, if you're going to die, it's better to die in the past so you respawn faster, because now it's still another 9 seconds before Lol Guy comes back. But Sandblast here on the spine.
Seeing if he can get a sneaky back cap here with the rest of the team marching forward.
Wait, Bear saw 3 soldiers! Oh! So close. Sandblast thought he was caught, but when he wasn't, he's like, well, now what? That's the beauty of disguising a soldier. They never see you coming because you're so slow. But now that he had to close that distance and run, it's too slow. Wow. Players flying back and forth here in Valley. I love the respawn. It's like, hey guys, what's going over here? Ah! Just blasted in the face immediately.
Bomo gets a fast 2 there as they push forward. But Ford Gaming starting to take over on mid. Ends up hanging back a little bit. Fellas counter pushing now at this point. Flying through the skies, Agent Cortez, Soldier v Soldier here. Quack's knocking out Trip. And second is going to go to Fellas again. So Ford back on last here. Lining up some shots. Can't get one, though.
Playing up on Sniper now. Yeah, there's still a disadvantage here. The Uber does come in so quickly. Everyone flying back into spawn, but look at this cap from Sandblast. It's so far capped, basically. Medic and Scout standing on the point, but they step up for just half a second, and that's all that they needed for Quacks to finish the cap. So, quick round here, or sorry, not a quick round, but a solid round, I guess, in this 4 minutes. Score now being 1-0 for all my fellas.
Yeah, it was good back and forth there between those two. Ford was able to push back from last a few times there. Fellas did manage to finish it out, though. But if Ford can build upon that, then they can really have some success here and make this quite the match.
So much damage coming out onto Sai so early. Having to back up here, and that gives actually, look at how much room that gave to the scouts and soldiers to climb up on the high ground over there. So this gives all my fellas a lot of space to work with, and
hello.
Quacks just goes and trades 1 for 1. Yeah, just kind of spot checking that little area. Finds what he was looking for, but it's not very impactful. But look at this, you know, with that 1 pick conversion, basically, Ford's able to win the mid.
And now it's Ford on the offensive here as all my fellas regroups there with their 2 soldiers now back in the action here. Both teams have Uber. Habib getting ready for some flying soldiers just in case. You can never be too sure. Some of these players. Jacques looking for that headshot here. almost gets it there, but almost doesn't count in TF2 as Sandblast gets him right back.
Wow, taking down that buff sniper is nothing to sneeze at. Oh, man. Yeah, we had this whole conversation about Yosh being on that wacky weapon or not, and like, hey, do you want to try and win or just do your own thing? And he actually did switch. I mean, props to him, but at the same time, it's funny watching people stick to their guns, so to speak. These pipes are always terrifying to me because it's like, either it'll do 0 damage, 10 damage, or 100 damage.
No in-betweens. Guy keeping the gap between these two teams here. Everybody regrouping. Uber ad will be for fellas pushing forward here on mid.
Oh, beautiful jump from Habib. Even if Habib goes down here, that won the push completely. You know, laying out such blanket spam and then shutting them out that door. There is no contest. Wow. Yeah, Habib's such a treat to watch. Even throughout history, like there's so few people who play like he plays. Normally it feels like fights are so drawn out, right? And it's like, oh, which way is it going to go? And like, see what a tactical play. Agent Cortez like raining rockets down here from this like wacky off angle they slid into from behind into the flank or whatever. But it's funny just watching a soldier 1v1. It's like, ah, yes, this person hit 3 direct rockets in a row and just won it.
Oh, it's even funnier watching the two soldiers fight in effectively what's the size of a phone booth in some of these hallways here.
Yeah, for real. Ooh, and actually a pick from the medic flinging a crossbow and managed to grab a soldier. But look at this, all my fellas. Quoting Sobi Meister here as they're, cleaning up the damage here, moving their way forward very comfortably, full Uber ad into last. By all means, this should be a point conversion, but let's see if they have what it takes to stick the landing.
Ready to click on some heads here for defense. Uber comes out for fellas, getting 1 kill there. Habib, are they able to get 2? Is Medic staying alive? Not anymore. Fellas trying their hardest to win that point. Sandblast cannot believe what he is seeing here. It's going to get capped at a Medic cap for all my fellas to get second point. 2-0 for all my fellas over Ford Gaming so far here on this match.
Hard blue? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, this is nuts from LOL guy. A 2K on Medic to cap the point?
Medic OP, Valve, please fix.
Yeah, 2-0 here for all my fellas, where they're already up. Map number 1 here in this best of 3. And this is the winner's finals. So the winner of this goes on to grand finals with, double elimination. They'll have both of their lives, so to speak. That was nuts for Culture. I still am reeling.
Yeah.
What a great play from the medic, a 2K and like turning that into a whole round. I mean, we've seen so many point caps from Culture. Habib here getting the first pick finally onto Guy, and losing your demo first on the mid is, instant loss. We can't contest this anymore, or if we do, we'll lose harder.
So lots of match time overall here. So they're able to pull back a little bit. Down 2-0, it's not the end of the world here at this point, so it's still a good chance to recover from this here. So regrouping, getting your heads together and figuring out, okay, how can we break through here is what they need to do at this point.
We have secured the control point.
Even Ubers, the only off class is this sentry gun being built out here by Fruit. Yeah, again, just peeking, see what we can see. It's amazing how beautiful, like, high ground being good is such a universal law, right? Even with the players just kind of hanging out in lobby, waiting for the call, or jumping on some of those crates, just making themselves a little bit harder to hit. Got gravity on your side. Yeah, bot mode up here on this shelf. I'll check what that one does. Okay, bomb coming in. We have a high one from Agent Cortez, and weirdly that looked like the distraction bomb for like a follow-up peak, but no one really came in, so not much to show for it.
Bot mode getting one there on Trip, as now they have a man advantage going in here. Both teams still holding onto their Uber though, but looks like all my fellas will probably pop theirs very shortly here. Full sentry up, and now Ford with the man advantage. Well, currently 5v5, but Trip's going to come back a full 10 seconds sooner here. And Fellas just waiting this one out. They have the time advantage. They have point advantage right now. So the big thing is seeing if anybody bites just a little bit too hard from Ford Gaming.
It's always so funny, like what a, I don't even know what you would call it, but it's almost like a tangential angle, like to kind of peek across lobby there where some of these players keep peeking where like the offense or defense are both like, hey, you know, if someone's sort of exposed on this long angle, I can pepper them a little bit, but even then it never really accomplishes that much. I mean, a sniper pick there is wild, and here we have to stare down both sides of the shutter. Oh, it's open!
So close. Oh, sniper fight. But both are going to hang out for just a little bit longer.
Nothing to show for it. Yeah, both of these like waiting for waiting for that moment of truth, and brought down to just 20 HP there. Yeah, getting juggled by those soldiers in those tiny rooms. Yeah, the explosive classes work wonders. Bot mode, not even charging up. Let me just dry peek this shutter.
Love the aggression. Works out as Agent Cortez falls down. So Fellas, or Ford Gaming I should say, holding them back just a little bit longer here. The push coming in slightly onto second here, but all my fellas standing tall, not letting anything through just yet. Both teams waiting for the other to see who blinks first.
We have about 18 minutes left in the map, but just 1 minute left on this round timer. Whoa, nice shot. Wow, quick one onto Sandblast here. But if nobody caps a point at within the next 55 seconds, then we reset and go all the way back to mid, and whoa, the sniper just unscoped in the sight line, so nothing to find yet. Both of them saying, do it, I dare you. It's like two guys, like, you want to go right now? You want to go? You want to go? It's like, if you're both ready to fight, probably you should just fight instead of saying you're going to fight. But
just bumping chests, but not actually throwing punches.
Yeah, there we go. Swing and a miss, and both of them actually like kind of making these players turn. Was that a headshot? I think Yoshi might have had a buff and survived with a headshot.
Wow.
Either way, there are so many players down on the side of all my fellas, but Ford says, listen, we're not. Oh, actually, they do make it their way out of last. They have just a couple like watching it to make sure they don't get back cap this time. Very good practices. But now they're able to take these even Ubers pushing into mid. But honestly, it might have been better to let the round reset, because now you're holding your own second versus fighting over mid again.
Taking second might just give you guys, give that team a just that extra little confidence boost rather than just resetting and saying, okay, we can build on this, we can move forward now with this. You're still fighting over mid in either case, but it's like, hey, just any kind of mental boost. I think it's a good decision doing that, but that's just my perspective.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, especially because like the mids have been so good from all my fellas. It's like, hey, we'd rather hold second with even Ubers than risk getting wiped at mid and roll to last, right? So yeah, that's a good point. Working here, there's a couple people like poking. You know, we saw Agent Cortez going in and then Trip maybe going in for a follow-up. Actually, we saw a little bit from Trip where, oh, nice try. I love watching these rollouts. Thanks, production. We had Trip actually was like falling so far that fall damage can do like 30-40 damage to you, but shooting yourself in the rocket only does around 15-20 with the gunboats on. So as Trip was falling, it's like, hey, I'll take 40 damage if I fall straight, but 20 damage if I shoot the ground at the same time. So caught themselves in the landing, basically. Clearing the avenue here for Agent Cortez, we get stuck between the hut and the skybox there. And losing bot mode too means Ford could push forward.
Yeah, two-man advantage Ford Gaming has here to push forward on mid. Fellas had a very forward position here, so now they're falling back to the point. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left in this round before it ends reset if there's no cap here. And Ubers come out for both teams here.
It's so funny. It feels like it's so much easier to hit people when they're Ubered, but it doesn't matter at all. I just really like that pipe from Sai. Great movement from Long Guy. Wow. Oh, we're so stuck in this tiny little corridor. It's like one soldier flank will seal the deal, but right now, yeah, Trip is all the way out on alley, so, you know, not able to make contact in that little lobby.
So Ford Gaming now on the offensive as they take mid. All my fellas hanging back, but now starting to push forward here. Quacks goes down, giving man advantage to Ford.
Making our way up this short ramp. We have a little bit of spam being traded, and yeah, this is so much fun, I think, for soldiers, where it's like, hey, I can like present myself as a threat here for a while, wait for you to react to it, and then just back up anyway. So it kind of gives a lot of room for your other players on your team, like your scouts or something, to peek into a different doorway, or for your demo to set up a new trap that they don't anticipate.
Yeah, anything just to get that little additional space for your team to follow up on. You don't always have to be poking and prodding at the other team. Just being there and just making your presence known can be just that little thing that you need to push forward.
As part of my trademark playstyle is I love those opportunities where shooting at me as a medic is the worst decision, so I'm going to make it the easiest for you to do. So for example, like in overtime, if we're trying to cap the point, it's like you shouldn't shoot the medic at all, but let me make you try and do it. And wow, speaking of shooting, the medic, Trip flies right in, and what a cool angle. It feels like it's almost destiny that Trip went in that direction, got the medic. Really great shot, even jumping into those 5 players. Well played.
So that gives fellas no medic here to defend second. Ford Gaming can push forward here.
Alert.
They talk about going coast to coast. Yeah, Ford here is pushed out of their own last into second, into mid, into the other second, into now the other last. So we're really making our way downtown, walking fast, faces past. And here we are. Yeah.
So now all my fellas, surprisingly, on the defensive here, holding back their last as the teams go coast to coast.
It's just one down. Look at how like hungry these teams are, right? As soon as one went down on the side of Ford, then they were able to charge forward. But actually, I think I might have missed it that that was Bear, the medic for Ford. Looks like a recent respawner and lost their Uber, so this is what has all my fellas so aggressively pushing forward. But hey, yeah, Ford says like, great, come into us in this really tiny lobby. We're gonna let players like Psy and our soldiers dance here. And so they're able to shove the scouts back, you know, bot moded. Sandblast, try as they might, they're not quite able to get all the way through lobby, but now the Uber comes.
Psy guy knocking out one of the soldiers there. Sandblast knocks out the scout there, so they'll have a man advantage going in and taking back their second as the ping pong match continues back and forth. Fellas taking second, opening mid back up.
That was actually so noble of Trip and Yosh, where they were both on like 20 HP in that Uber, and what they did is they went behind, right? So that means when Habib and Sandblast were using that Uber, they had to like turn around and go clean up people who were pretty much dead anyway. But that means that the rest of Ford got to stay exactly where they were and take 0 damage. Really well played out of both of them to like kite their eyes away. Oh, so much damage here. This like feels like it shouldn't really be happening in this way, but yeah, Ford just says like, I think we could win this dry push without using, and they do.
We have captured the control point.
Ubers available on both teams. Should start to see some soon, but trades are coming in now. Man advantage for Ford Gaming. They're going to have an opportunity to push forward here, but Sandblast keeping them back just enough. Really putting some heavy damage on Soldier there. Really being a nuisance for these guys. They're just stuck at that corner there.
It keeps feeling like, yeah, this is the time for Ford to take the win. Yeah, it does feel a little bit lackluster to back up. I mean, I'm sure they have their reasons. I might have missed what it was, but let's see, are they pulling an off class? I don't think so. Still Mediguns, full Ubers. Yeah, not feeling it, you know, not the right kind of day, I guess. But hey, there's only 10 minutes left in the round, so they got to pull 2 wins out in that 10 minutes. Even if you get this one now, can you get another one in 7 minutes or for however much is remaining? That's a pretty tall order against a team like this.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I remember before Habib and Sai traded in that little, yeah, again, this like kind of cross lobby peek. Yeah, aha. See there, this guy's peeking too far forward, gets taken out for it. Oh, Sai putting out so much damage. Oh, and what a long sight line from bot mode misses the shot. That was kind of the one. Oh,
Can he get a follow-up though?
just before the medic crosses, but got spammed off from the rest of the team, so great hustle out of Ford.
Great job holding down second. It looked like fellas are starting to march out and take that one back over, but they're able to hold it down. Just over 2 minutes left in this round here. If fellas can just simply hold it out, we'll get a reset and everyone will go back to mid.
These snipers like ships in the night, like they can't see each other, but their teams can see both of them. Bama going for this long angle peek. Yeah, people like to get a little bit greedy out there, so if someone oversteps their bounds by just a bit. And look at this headshot angle. Like you can hit them, but they can't hit you.
Oh,
what a shot. Ready for it. And now, like, this is when the sniper gets super aggressive. You know, no one's holding your angle anymore. Oh, peeking out onto the medic. Misses the shot. The hero play doesn't pay off.
Love the aggression, though.
Esports. This round timer has been ticking for a while, and even though Sandblast is actually dead here still, yeah, they're really kind of taking their time with this.
Minutes ago, they still have an Uber, and pushing really has to come forward now if they don't want to reset. And 8 minutes left in the match. Now's the time. The iron's hot. It's time to strike.
Thanks, Doc. Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Ooh, the Uber's starting to peek forward. I hear the gun fire, and everyone's coming through the far door where they're going into the gun first. The Uber gets traded back, and look, actually, Lawguy and Quack's working their way pretty aggressively into this room with Zyguy, saying, hey, like, you know, we can probably juggle somebody if someone stays in this room with us long enough. End up not finding it, sure, so 5 versus 5, but there's only 30 seconds left.
Tough one for Ford as the Ubers went up against each other. No one able to make any ground there. Quack's getting a little bit of a poke there on Ford Gaming. 20 seconds left in the round. It's a tall order here to get on that point. Now is the time. We'll see what they can do. But Sandblast able to knock down 1, 2, 3, and our man advantage will beat the fellas, and it looks like we're going to get a reset here.
Yeah, this is a really tough pill to swallow for Ford. They had so many opportunities, right? I'll tell you, Mike, this is part of TF2 culture called the pub push. Where, like, in a public game, you know, sometimes around time is like 20 minutes for just pushing a single point, and 19 minutes and 45 seconds go by, offense barely touches it. In the last 15 seconds, suddenly everyone's like, oh, we really got to go now, and suddenly having 20 people, or, you know, 15 people charging at a point, suddenly it works, right? But it's like, if only we had all those people do that earlier. So
exactly.
We probably could have won earlier, and it feels the same for Ford. Like, if we just rallied everyone together and tried to win the round, then it might have worked.
Try a little harder and click a little harder, and it'll all work out.
If you believe in yourselves and the power of friendship, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah, the real championship is the friends that you made along the way. Although fellas, looks like they're trying to take mid here and keep cruising toward that actual championship as well, as mid starts to go their way. Ford not letting it go down without a fight, however.
Oh, the Uber came out so just barely faster for all my fellas here. So Bear does go down to it. Does at like something 95%. I might have missed the exact number. But either way, yeah, just building very slightly better here from Lawguy. Really well done. That's a tough call to make, honestly, because at mids, it's like you kind of feel like, oh, we could win this. But for him to say, like, no, I'm making sure we win this at the cost of our own Uber. Yeah, that's like an executive decision, but it really paid off here.
That is quite the hammer, my goodness.
One of them is a knife, like a skin you can get, because, like, you know, hitting it with your melee builds it, and it's, yeah, just funny watching him hack away like a freaking machete.
Yeah, Telizera looking for some headshots here. He's going to keep on watching for that. Nothing at that angle right now. Still just waiting for the opportunity. But you might want to look to the right as everyone's pushing forward. All my fellas getting quickly on last. Quack staying airborne. My goodness, raining down, takes out the medic. Great pick there. All my fellas taking last point, 3-0 here. 5 minutes to go in this match.
Sick from Quack's waiting for the right moment, right? Like,
that was a great play on his part.
It's so underrated to get to reload the rockets. Because normally, like, if you use 2 rockets, maybe even 3 to jump in, sure, you could reload 1 at the last second in the air, but instead, to, like, jump off that and have 3 rockets in the chamber is, like, holy, like, whatever damage you do, you can clean up. Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, backs against the wall here for Forward Gaming. They only have 4 minutes to put 3 rounds on the board, so basically they have to blitz each of the 3 rounds in a row.
Crazier things have happened at these tournaments, though. Forward Gaming starting to cap a little bit on mid. And between all the frags here, they do have, well, now it's a 3-on-3. Fella's starting to cap on mid, but now they're just taking it to individual fights here. And Fella's cleans up, gets a team wipe here, and begins to take over on mid.
Wow, it's such a satisfying feeling, especially on land, to use these explosives like a shotgun. Like, Habib just, like, cradled someone in his arms and blasted him with the pipe.
The control point is being captured.
Pretty much putting a grenade in their arms and saying, here, you hold this, and taking a step back.
Hot potato, except it just instantly deaths.
That's the hottest potato, the most dangerous potato.
Molten potato. If you touch it, you die.
Uber comes in here, man advantage for all my fellas as well. Cruising forward here on last point, no touches just yet. Looking for some trades here, getting a few. Advantage here for all my fellas. Medic is capping as well. 4-0 now for all my fellas over Forward Gaming with 3 minutes left on the map.
Big statements from Culture here. I'll have to see if I can find them later and just say what a great job, right? Because, you know, for the medic to esports, they say in the chat.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, but anyway, like, you know, it's so cool to see a medic having this level of an impact of, like, creating round wins. Normally it's a lot under the hood of, like, hey, by playing well, the team can accomplish more. But here it's like, no, I'm just going to win lasts constantly.
Wow.
Big
Quacks
damage
and
out of
Habib getting huge kills there. Mid goes the way
taunt
of all my fellas. Yeah, some how do you do's here coming in.
So we're resetting at this mid a little bit, waiting for the medic respawner, right, for Culture to have to come all the way back. So there is a full ad for, that would be Bear on the side of Forward, but yeah, with only 2 minutes left on the clock, it's, yeah, I think, technically impossible for them to capture this many points in this amount of time. Ooh, a Kritzkrieg I missed. Here we go. They, wait, the beam got taken off for that 1 second. I think that would have killed the beam if it had stayed connected. And Sai is still putting out a ton of damage regardless. You know, by shaking them up this much, making them fear the crits, basically, you kind of corral them in the way that works for the rest of your team. So well played regardless.
Great work by Quacks to get the trade there as he was just escaping from that scout as well.
Yeah, fade away here. Sandblast a little bit greedy, having fun with it.
Hitting him with the esports.
Get esported. The pyro, no!
Oh, man.
Yeah, launching themselves forward. Who can pad their stats, get the big plays, the highlight reels. I'll scream if someone does something cool. We can clip it.
Let's see what cool stuff can happen here in these final 45 seconds of the match.
Oh, Habib goes so low here. Oh, the crit's onto a scout. Oh, I wonder how much a pistol shot does with the crits. I'm guessing like 30, 40, so by the time you hit someone 3 times, they're dead. There's something fun where if you like Kritzkrieg a heavy, it's like shooting laser beams out, right? So it's doing like this enormous damage constantly. But yeah, here we find ourselves 17 seconds left on the clock. We're eyeing down a victory for all my fellas here in the winners finals for this double elimination bracket here. Number 1 seed versus number 2.
So all my fellas will get to find out between whoever's left here in our losers bracket. We're getting a little bit more information on that. But Forward Gaming will have another chance to come back from this as all my fellas takes it 4-0 in that match and moves forward to the grand finals.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty surprised actually at how one-sided that match ended up being. Because we saw like the first round timer took so long, and then it was 1-1 right to start our match. But after that, it was just kind of a tale written by all my fellas. So, yeah. Do you think that there's anything in particular that could come from the side of Ford to come back? Basically, if they make their way through the losers bracket back to grands.
I think the biggest thing is just sticking to the fundamentals. I noticed a lot of off-classing, mostly because of the requirements that you had to do on defense. But if you can limit that as much as possible and just sticking to the fundamentals, sticking to the generalist classes, that might be what you need to do at this point. Because if you have your fundamentals, you can build upon that. You know what you're working with. You know how to. You've been practicing that for who knows how long. If you can work with that, I think that would be better than some of these specialists where you have very specific and very limited roles that you're able to fulfill. But as a generalist, you can really branch out, and you can really have lots more opportunity. That's what I would probably suggest at this point for Ford Gaming. But we'll see what they're able to do here in the losers bracket.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I think I kind of have that same shared opinion. And to me, it feels too like sometimes the team just feels hot or cold, right? Because we even saw yesterday, of teams like who's going to lay down and die versus some teams are like, doesn't matter if I'm going against the best players in the world. I'm going to be back capping. We're going for crazy plays on mid. I'm getting in. I'm going to go just take this one-on-one with a guy just because I think I might win it. Doesn't matter. Let's try.
Mm-hmm.
But then we kind of felt that the flame almost went out for Ford on Metalworks there, where it's like, okay, would you like to push last at any point at all when, they were there for almost 5 minutes straight of barely getting any pushes out. So
yeah, that was some of the conservative play on their point was a little bit surprising, especially considering where they were at certain points within that match. There probably was more opportunity for aggression, but whether it came down to a communication breakdown or maybe a lack of confidence in that situation, whatever it was, they weren't able to push through that. If they want to continue cruising through the losers bracket and get a chance for redemption, they have to break through that wall here.
Yeah, here's hoping. We're cheering for you, everyone on Ford. And of course, but huge props to all my fellas. They did fantastic, and to be able to adapt and have a close game that you turn completely one-sided is just a showcase of their expertise and experience and prowess here on the server. It looks like coming up next, we'll be bringing you some Overwatch, and by we, I mean, of course, Mike over here, and I believe it'll be Ethan as well, so you're excited for some Overwatch next?
Oh, absolutely. The game that killed the game that was supposed to kill Team Fortress 2, it'll be... I personally enjoy Overwatch 2 from time to time myself, so I have... it'll be great to go back to that, but it's watching some of the incredible play from everyone that I've seen here from Team Fortress 2's tournament action here. Second to none. So no matter what we're watching here, we got great gameplay from everyone across all these games here. So I'm excited to see what's coming up in Team Fortress 2 later today, but I'm still excited to see what we have for our a bit of the craziness that I had mentioned earlier as we go into Overwatch 2's random teams, so anything's possible with some of these teams. As a reigning champion of the Overwatch 2 random team tournament, I can say that anybody can win. If I can win, anybody can win.
All right, well, tune in for that after our break. And just before we throw it to a break, of course, we're doing this all to support charities here at RGB. So the 3 RGB, red, green, blue charities we're supporting are Julia's Grace for supporting children with cancer. We have Help Hope Live, which is helping fund really expensive medical procedures. And the Philly, Texas is creating opportunities for women of color in tech. So thanks, everyone, for helping support these charities. We'll catch you with some Overwatch after the break.